subscribe to the Donnie Houston podcast, man.
Here with Donnie. Oh, seriously. Good Lord. You should always have your shit running with me. No, I'm just kidding. Ready? Hey, everybody. It's Jammin Jimmy Olson, the boy in the box, and I'm with Donnie Houston right out here at my 25th annual Ton of Toys Toy Drive in H-Town. So please tune in.
Yeah, man, it's going down to Donnie Houston podcast. I am Donnie Houston. Check it out. I'm sitting here with the legend. He's a 2021 Texas Radio Hall of Fame inductee. He was I don't want to get this other one wrong. 2022 Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. These are all things that I would love to have under my belt at some point.
Well, you should have it.
But listen, man, even more importantly than that, well, I don't know if it's more important, but just as important. We're talking about Houston hip hop. It's the 50th hip hop anniversary. We're talking about Houston hip hop, man. This is one of the most influential guys who really played a role in really getting the thing going here in the city. Jammin Jimmy Olson, what's going on, man?
Man, how have you been, man?
I've been good. How about yourself,
Good
man?
finally seeing you in so many years, and like we're together again.
I know, right? What's crazy is I was riding. I was like, man, like I told Def Jam Blaster growing up. I grew up, radio kid.
Right.
And some of y'all just had the coolest names, like Def Jam Blaster, Jammin Jimmy Olson. Like these are names that stick with you forever, man. Like where'd you even come up with that?
It's funny. I'm born and raised here. Mm-hmm. And I got a gig in Dallas as I was like 17. It was crazy at Y95. And Mark Driscoll, I used to take a lot of pictures, and Mark said, "You're Jimmy Olson. You're going to be Jammin Jimmy Olson because you're jamming on the radio." And then when I came to Houston at KISS 98.5 in 1998, Steve Heckwood gave me the boy in the box. Mm. So that's how I became Jammin Jimmy Olson, the boy in the box. So, and then it was so much, it was like JJO. So JJO has stuck with me, and it's just been a true, I guess, it's been so gratifying because it's got me, not only can you meet so many people that normal people just cannot, and if they do, it's maybe just for a quick picture or, hey, how you doing, a handshake. It's like earlier today with Sheila Jackson Lee. She comes here, and she stays. I only have a minute, and it was like an 8-minute, 12-minute interview because, you're helping kids. And I think that hip-hop, H-Town, God, we just had some of the greatest hip-hop, I think, back in the day. I remember James Smith, Jay Prince, excuse me. It was a cassette of Brad, Scarface. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And so literally the Ghetto Boys, UGK, I mean, I can go on and on. What was it? 25 lighters on my dresser.
DMD.
Yeah. D&D. God, and is he a minister now?
He was doing out. Yeah, he was doing
I think Mace tried that too.
Yeah.
But there's just so much. 3-2, Big Mike. I would hate to even leave some out because, screw. I remember going to his apartment. There's a line of people out there. I'm like, what the hell? Because I was going to see him.
How did you even get onto that? Was he already just booming in the streets and you were like, man, I'm just going to go holler at this guy?
He was, well, it's crazy because people would bring stuff to you. So, I would listen and I said, no, I don't know if this will make it, but I was always the jock that I give anything a chance. Anything. I just requested it was radio playable. And so I wanted to see how he was doing all this stuff. Well, when I got there, he was a mass dubbing cassettes. And that's back then, that's what you were selling, cassettes. And we went in there and you should have seen the line of things. Everybody thought he was selling drugs out of there. And the police raided. I was there. I'm like, holy cow.
Wait, you were there when the police raided?
Yes, dude. It just happened like probably 10 minutes after I got there. You see a line of people in the park coming in and going out.
What's really going on?
You don't know.
Yeah.
And so it was, of course, nothing was there. Everything was fine. And the police looked stupid. But yeah, that was amazing. But that's how me and him kind of had our first true little relationship or whatever, bonding.
This is
moment.
crazy. You go to his house to kick it in. Here comes the police. Like, just like.
It was he had an apartment. And if I remember correctly, I mean, we are getting older, but that's what I remember. I remember so much stuff at nightclubs and everything. The Palm Center. There's a police department across the side, and me and I think Lady BG and Reg in Effect were at, I forget the name of the club, but it was right across from there, and the DJ booth. And we had a security detail that would go with us. The station had the clubs pay for. And the police bum rushed that club in all black. I didn't even know there was the police. I thought we were being robbed, honestly. And so our security, threw us down and pulled us, the DJ booth, he had to crawl under it, and they threw us into the van and we got out of there. But that's just one of the things. Ray Barnett, good Lord, Gucci's.
You talking about Ray Barnett? This is like early.
Oh, God, yes.
Okay, wait. So you were in Dallas. What station was that in? Was it a
Now,
hip-hop?
Dallas, no. Dallas was not. It was a Churban, which we played some early on hip-hop, but stuff more rhythmic type, kind of like The Box was originally. And it was like Whammy by One Way, stuff like that. And yes, you can. Thank you. But it's radio has just been in my blood since I was a kid, when I used to sneak out of the house, riding my bike up to 104 KRBE.
Wait, so what side of town did you grow up on?
Southwest, right here, literally down just past Gessner.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So you said 17. How did you,
14.
Wait. 14 was riding your bike, but you're saying 17 was Dallas, though, right?
17 was Dallas, yes.
So when you're riding your bike to 104, are you getting any experience there? Or are you just going up there just being like this kid, just curious?
No, it was crazy because I had lied about my age to get a job at Randall's, sacking groceries.
I think that's everybody's first job. Mine was Kroger, sacking groceries.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, Randall's was like the thing here in Houston, but Kroger was here too, but Randall's was a local store. The Onsteads owned it, and I had then got a job at Tan Advantage doing, selling memberships and stuff, and we got commission checks too. Minimum wage was horrible, but the commission was out of this world, and so I started upgrading people. But the jocks from 104 KRBE came to Tan, so that's how I met them, and I was literally like 14, 15 years old. So I would go up to actually be a producer, answer the phones and stuff, not getting paid, just answering the phones. That's how I got my foot in the door. And then they ended up paying me to run Casey Kasem at like 4:00 in the morning on a Sunday on vinyl. And one time the record was scratched and I freaked out. They just said seg music. Do not pop the mic, just seg music. Well, 4:00 in the morning, I'm segging music, I'm popping the mic. So I start getting air checks together and I send them. And the guy that I had answer the phones for at KRBE got a job in Dallas at Y95. In fact, Mark Driscoll is the voice of my station now. He passed away recently, but he was our boss there. And his name was the Head Megazoid. Imagine growing up listening to the Head Megazoid. So anyway, that was a great station, had so much fun in Dallas. But I came back to Houston in October of 88, to start KISS 98.5 with Steve Hagwood, who was the program director, and Jerry Clifton, who was the consultant, who also consulted the original Box. He was out of San Diego. And literally, it was Clear Channel's first major market move-in from Port Arthur, KHYS. We had the canary yellow vans. It's kind of like why I wear canary yellow. Still to this day, it kind of stuck with me. But we put them all over the place. We had 2 vans, and I said, I never want to see these vans in the parking garage. Go park them at a Walmart, at a mall. And we also had the first wraps, not van wraps, but those trash bag banners with our logo on it. They were canary yellow. And so we would go and paste them around cars that were stalled on the freeway. And the cops said, they called us and said, we really don't have a problem with this, but people are breaking in the cars. We don't know that they're broken into, and they're taking everything because you're covering them. So that was kind of funny and not funny. But ask me some point questions.
Okay, so when you leave that station when you came back, what's the first like hip hop station you involved in?
The first hip hop was Kiss 98.5.
Oh, they were playing hip hop on Kiss?
Oh, yes. We played, hip hop.
You got to understand, I grew up,
Right,
and
correct.
that's
But I'm saying in 88, hip hop was kind of in no man's land. You didn't have hardcore stuff and you didn't have other stuff. It was kind of almost poppy now would be called, but New Edition, that would rap on their records. Bobby Brown. We were playing that. We were playing, I think Ice Cube. I think I was playing NWA back then, that they had a radio playable. We were playing Digital Underground. In fact, I went on tour. I say tour. We started in Dallas. We went with Digital Underground when Tupac was there and everything. We were in a limo.
Just like the Sex Package?
Yep.
No shit.
The very first one, Humpty Dance. And they were performing, and they had a little Southern tour. And so I was broadcasting, live via the phone, and everything. They had those big phones that were on the bricks, the first kind of cell phones.
What do you remember specifically about that? Whether it be, because you're talking about Tupac and you're talking about, Humpty. Well, what's my man? Oh my God, this is one of my favorite guys. I might not remembering his name right now.
Money B?
No, not Money B. Shock G.
Shock G, yeah. Shock and Hump are the same person.
Exactly. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
So Shock G, and do you remember anything specifically about like Shock G or Tupac at that time?
I know they smoked a lot of marijuana. I had to sit in front of the limo. Yeah. I was a young kid,
Yeah.
I didn't want any of that stuff.
So how old are you at that time?
I was probably 19.
Huh.
Yeah, 19, I believe.
Damn. So when is it? What do you remember first about like Houston hip hop? Like you said,
that was my first Houston hip hop. Was that? I mean, but they flew me into Pittsburgh to fly back with New Kids on the Block too. We were playing everything, and that's what made that station so successful, because we had, the black community, the kids, the whites, the Hispanics, everybody. And I mean, we shot up. We were number one, 12 to 34. And we tore into Magic. I mean, Hurricane Dave was on Magic at that time, and I was on Kiss. And I do my pranks and everything. And so the National Weather Service has issued a warning. Hurricane Dave has been downgraded to a tropical depression. We just kind of crazy stuff like that. But yeah, so that was my first, not like hip hop was in 91. But that was kind of the cusp to it. So I got hired and fired twice at Kiss 98.5. And Jerry Clifton said, you need to sign a contract that they're not going to fire you again because we need you.
Were they letting you go because of all the antics on air and that type of stuff?
Oh, God. Yeah, you have no idea what I was doing. It was crazy. I mean, I didn't give a shit. I was playing the hits and, having a blast. And that's what it was. But I wasn't doing no drugs. I can't say I wasn't drinking, but I was not doing any drugs. And so literally then Jerry gets blown out. Like 3 weeks after I've signed this contract. 3-year deal, by the way. This is in 1990. And towards the end. So Jerry gets with the Eskimos, which their radio company was Cook Inlet. And they owned KFMK, which was an oldie station. Real old Anglo white music. I mean, like Rolling Stones and real old stuff. And he goes, man, you got to get over here. Because this was a signal that was a 100,000 watt in Houston. Kiss 98.5 was 100,000 watts, but it was out of Liberty City, which was a move-in. Got it a decent signal, but in the west side, it was kind of hard to pick it up. certainly couldn't pick it up in the house. I could tell you stories about how they were trying to make the stereo light stay on and stuff. Just crazy. You think of what we have now and just back then, I mean, it's just nuts.
You had to figure it out back then. Yeah.
So I said, I'm under this contract you told me to get in. He goes, you got to get fucking out of it. You have to get out of this contract. I don't give a shit. You will not regret it. You got to get out of it. So Jim Snowden, God love that guy, but he was the program director. And Lowry Mays had already said, you do not fire Jimmy Olson under any circumstance. And he's not the first owner that has said that. But so I went in and I knew how to get under his skin. And I had a little, those mini cassette recorders because I had to record him firing me. And so I'm not going to even say what I was saying, but he got so, you could just see his arteries just going.
Are you going at him and stuff you were saying? Or like,
oh, yeah. I needed him to fire me. Yeah. I took Jerry Clifton at his word, and he fired me. And at that time, Rex Tackett was the GM, and you could just hear this little guy just coming down the thing because Snowden was very loud. You're fired. And no, you know, oh, yeah, I am. I got it right here. Sorry. And I get my shit, and I go. And
did they have to pay you because you were in contract? Yeah.
And so, and I have I've never signed a non-compete in my life, nor will I ever. And I tell everybody out there, never sign a non-compete. It's stupid. The only way you should sign a non-compete if they're going to pay you. If they want you to stay out 6 months, they pay you for 6 months. If they want 5 years, they pay you for 5 years. Whatever it is, they need to pay you if they want you to sit out. And so I never had a non-compete. And I went to KFMK, and they wanted to call it the Jet for Jetaway Getaways. And I wanted to call it the Boombox for those big-ass boomboxes. Which, by the way, Boombox, Bump Box.
Bump Box, yeah.
Yeah, they need to give me one of those. Why don't I have one of those? Man, that would be so cool out here doing it, promoting their stuff. I mean, you see what I got. It's a little mini box. But we said, you're the boy in the box. Let's call it the box. I said, okay. So it was 97.9 the box. The original 97.9 was like the old typewriter font. The old typewriter font. 97.9, and then the box was like this. I can probably find that logo and send it to you.
Wait. So you're the reason for it being the box?
I gave that station birth. That's my semen in that station. Yes, that's my semen in that station. That logo you see is a version of my logo that I went to WPGC in Washington, D.C., which was our sister station at the time, and saw their badass logo. And so we used it's like a paintbrush thing. So yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And you weren't even thinking like trademarking any of this shit.
No, I should have.
You should be fucking rich right now.
Yeah.
Stupid rich.
Yeah. But you know, the funny thing is the Eskimos would not give a contract to anybody. Nobody. I never had a contract on that station. So
you went from having a contract to no contract.
Yep. Making more money though, but no contract. I had an agreement, like what my bonuses were and all of that. But we did stopless music. That was our tagline. And we started off with 10,000 songs in a row. And songs, we had some on cart and some were just coming out on CD. And the CD single versions had the X-rated version first, and then the instrumental, and then the radio playable. And all these guys that were the old jocks on there were forced to sit there and just seg music. You don't have it like you do today. You can just go home, go to sleep, whatever, and it's playing. So I'm driving in the car, and I'm hearing, it was Two Live Crew, Me So Horny. And I'm listening, sitting at home with my dog. I said, we're going to be number one. We're going to be number one with and I'll bullshit you not. We were number one in 6 months. Now.
Well, there no FCC rule? Like, how did that work with that?
Well, you can play that on a station because it's copyrighted. You cannot get in trouble for it. However, McDonald's doesn't want to advertise on you. But we weren't playing any commercials. And nobody was really listening advertising-wise because we didn't have commercials. We were a brand new station. And So anyway, long story short, because there's a lot of history with me on radio, but we, of course, fixed that. They ended up carting the radio playables and everything, but the damage had already been done. I mean, people were talking about us like crazy. And like I said, we beat Magic 102. I tell you, Magic had never been beaten. They were sitting pretty. And we just cleaned their clock. In fact, I know for a fact, because of a memo that I got, we had cost them $6 million in that 6 months of revenue, which is why I get a call. They knew Cook Inlet didn't do any contracts. And we actually, at the box, we did our own little ratings, kind of like Birch used to be. And there was call out research and everything. So we knew where we were in the ratings. And it was literally, I think, on a level that nobody else ever did. And it made us know where we needed to be, what we needed to play, all of that stuff. And that's how we really had the city's pulse. The funny thing is, what do you hate? I hate that rap music. Well, what's your favorite song? Naughty by Nature, OPP. I'm like, well, what the hell do you think that is? So rap had a bad name, and so the term hip-hop came about a little after that, which cleaned it up. It's kind of like on the Spanish side, you had, what do they call it, norteño. It was called something else before, but they call it norteño, so it was more, accepted. So the owner of Magic 102 was John Lynch Sr. His son played football for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Denver Broncos, and now is the president of the 49ers. He was a kid back then. He used to listen to me. They lived in San Diego, but he got some kind of, you used to be able to call on the phone and get the station, which was really, really cool, no matter where you were. That's how consultants listened back then. And so he flew in, called me from the Doubletree Hotel in the Galleria. I didn't believe it was him, because Ron Atkins had called me. Love Ron today, but boy, we butted heads back in the day at Magic 102. And I didn't want to talk to them. They fired people all the time. I didn't want to work for them. And I said, if you're real serious, have the owner come down here. The owner flew down here on his...
You had this type of pool back then.
Dude, if I knew then what I knew now, I'd be owning these stations. I'd have ownership in these stations. There's so much shit that, were pulled over our eyes. It was... we were definitely used in everything. So, literally, there was so much stuff that I could have done. Because I used to go help salespeople close deals. I never got anything for that. I did get the talent fee, when we went out. And that's another big, big deal. My talent fee got up to $500 an hour at 102. Yeah, because it was JJL Radio, literally. JJL Radio all over the place. So I'm getting ahead of myself. John Lynch Sr. comes down. He's at the Doubletree Galleria. I get a call. I don't believe it's him. Hang up on him. Of course, I never knew what he sounded like or anything. Calls me again. I said, look, buddy, I don't know who you are. This isn't funny. I'm happy where I'm at. He goes, well, I flew all the way down here to meet with you. The least you can do is come meet with me. Hang up. I called my mom. I said, you're not going to believe this. This guy, blah, 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 blah. And she goes, there's 2 Doubletrees in the Galleria. There's one on Westheimer. There's one on Post Oak. I go, shit. So I call Westheimer. No, there's nobody here. How are you? There's nobody here by that name. Call the other one. Yes, sir, Mr. Olson. He's been waiting for your... Let me put you through. I goes, John, I'm so sorry. I'll be right down there. So I go down there. Monty Lang, who used to own Magic 102. I think he paid $500,000 for it and sold it for $80 million to John Lynch Sr. was there, his wife, and Ron Atkins. And I told John, I said, I'm not going to talk to you with everybody in here. He cleared him out, told him to go back to the station. He's got it.
What was your reason for wanting to clear them out?
Because it's none of their business. And I knew how they treated people at that station. I mean, Monty, may he rest in peace. You know, he was, I mean, he had starch jeans, all polo. He would polo from his bald head down to his, feet. Jeans so tight, I'm surprised he didn't have a yeast infection. That's how tight those jeans were. And it was just, it had been run like a, I don't know, but a crime organization kind of, you didn't want to come to work. You knew you had to come to work. You wanted to get the paycheck, all that, but it just wasn't a happy place. And I knew that before all this. So John Lynch said, look, I'm here. You wanted me here. I'm here. I took a lot of stuff to get here and, just sit down and talk to me. And, we want you. We really do. We know your value. And I'm here we're going to get this done today if we can. I go, well, dude, he goes, listen, we have contracts for our people. And then we have contracts for our people we want to keep. That should have told you everything right there.
They come in with the bag.
Huh?
They come in with the bag.
Dude, it was insane. He wrote me a personal check, which I still have a Xerox copy of, $30,000.
Get the fuck out of here.
Just
to sign.
To consider. Then he said he agreed I could do my own contract. My dad was an attorney who passed away in 2019, but he was an attorney. And the contract was the only... I'm sorry. I'm taking the steroid, and this is not good. It's coughing up all my stuff. The contract that we made up, the only way that Magic 102 could fire me and not pay me is, one, if I was convicted of a felony, or Magic 102 lost their license. Well, they're out of business if they lose their license. I still have that contract. And so it was a 3-year deal. I've never seen that much money in my life. I got to tell you, that was over $1 million deal. He gave me a tractor, a Grand Jeep Cherokee.
Get the fuck out of here.
Presidential Rolex, the $30,000. When I keep talking, that's going to do this.
You got some water out here or anything?
That's what I need, some fucking water. Hey, y'all got a water?
Yeah, I got some water.
Please, thank you. I'm about to die. Well, I don't mean literally die. That I don't have COVID. I don't have the flu. I ain't got none of that shit. But, yeah, so I went back to...
Carl, wait, $30,000.
Yeah.
Presidential Rolex. Grand Jeep Cherokee.
Yeah, that's what I ended up getting totalitarian for going over
there. But $30,000 just to think about it.
Oh, that was just, in fact, yeah, we didn't have the contract done then or anything. I took that check, went deposited that cashed it right away.
So you sitting on some money because you just got this money from this other deal where they fired you.
Correct.
So you walk away from that. You walk into $30,000.
Well, I was at the box.
No, I'm saying, of course, after that.
That was a good about year in between.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and John Lynn was a stand-up guy. He was definitely a stand-up guy, and I think Larry Mays. Thank you, sir. God bless you. I think Larry Mays at KHYI was a stand-up guy. I think they're good people, but I mean they're businessmen, and like I said, hindsight, we cost them $6 million in 6 months. That's a shitload of revenue. And I just got a little piece of it. I probably, if he could write you $30,000 like that, you could have asked for, Dude, I could have got $2.5 million a year That could have been a $7.5 million deal. Could have been a $10 million deal, $20 million deal, whatever. Because the writing was on the wall. They were going to get their ass handed to them. So I go back. I tell Carl Hamilton, who was the general manager of the box, everything that I just did. Showed him the check, everything. I said, y'all got to match this. This is what we came up with. Blah, blah, blah. He goes, man, these guys are not going to make contracts. So he gets Jerry Clifton on the phone. Jerry Clifton tells Carl, you get that fucking contract. You get a contract for him. If we lose Jimmy, we're toast. That's what he's telling. And right in front of me on a speakerphone.
Who else is at the box at the time when you're there?
Robert Scorpio.
Okay.
Lady BG. Pigeon Effect. Robert Showbiz Mosley, I believe. Maybe not Robert. Kid Fresh. Shelly Wade. And I could be off on some of those names, but they were all there at one point in time. So Carl gets on his little typewriter, and it's a dot matrix, and it prints on 2 pages, you know, and it's like a 12-page. I think I still have that too somewhere. It was an agreement. It was not a contract. It was an agreement. And he came almost right at the money, said, look, this will be your station. You'll program it. You're going to go to Jerry Clifton's New World Communications in San Diego. We're going to train you to be a program director. You're going to come back. You're going to take this over, blah, blah, blah. So literally, this is not a contract, Carl. So Carl gets Jerry on the phone. And I said, Jerry, this is not a contract. He goes, dude, that's a fucking agreement. You're getting the money that you were going to get over there. I said, yeah, but dude, y'all could fire me in 6 months. Yeah. And I'm screwed. I said, they're going to give me a 3-year deal, dude. I'm guaranteed 3 years unless I'm convicted of a felony or they lose their license. I'm guaranteed the money. Jerry cursed me out, said he would blackball me. I'd never work in radio again, all this other crazy shit. And I said, Jerry, I'm sorry, man. I love you, but Carl, here's my 2 weeks notice. Jerry said, you get him the fuck out of there. You don't let him back on the radio, blah, blah, blah. So I was going to take 2 weeks off, period. Again, didn't sign a non-compete. And Magic had, where's Jimmy? Where's Jimmy O? Where's JJO? And they're running this shit every 24/7. It's on the radio. And of course, people are listening to the box. They don't hear me. They don't hear me. So I think it was January 1992, I debuted on Magic 102.
This is 102 Jams.
And I flipped it to 102 Jams.
Wait. No shit.
Yes, I flipped it to and the logo was a paintbrush type thing. Yeah. And 1590 raps, period. It ain't that time of the month.
Dude, that's okay. So 1590, I always tell Blast, and I'm like, that station in my childhood, it was short-lived, but that shit was so fucking dope.
Dope. Yes, dude. You
got everything on there.
Yes. Dude, I mean, I could show you pictures of Jermaine Dupri and Crisscross in that studio. My office with millions of postcards of down with books, not bullets, hit the books, not the streets, stay in school. And the school with the most postcards got a free concert with Crisscross.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So you turn it to 102 Jams.
And 1590 raps.
And you start 1590.
My show is simulcast at night on 1590 too. And then in 3 months, we beat the box. 3 months, we beat the box 12 plus.
Who's at 102 at this time when you go over there?
Let's see. I took Hurricane Dave's place. And that's why they wanted me. They had let Hurricane go, or they were going to let him go. We had Doc Kilgore was in mornings. I cannot remember who was in middays. And then I can't even remember the Quiet Storm, but I know we hired Rudy V to do the Quiet Storm. He was actually a UPS driver that delivered us packages. And I told him, hey, you need because he had that voice. I said, you need to try out for this. And he did, and he got it. Man, he was kicked ass. But yeah, so that was a fun time in radio. It was short-lived for me, but that's just because I got rid of Monty Lang, I got rid of his wife, and I brought in a black man who I thought should be at the helm, Ernest Jackson. And he was our general manager, Ernest Jackson. And he literally, I wouldn't say that he went out of his way to get rid of me. There was Aldi Beard, who was the general sales manager. And literally, it's so sad that it happened, but I was visiting my grandmother in Gilmer, Texas, North Texas, and it was Halloween weekend time. And a club had burned down in Houston. Of course, I didn't know it had burned down. And it was Dr. J's. I'd never been there in my life. And my daughter calls. She was real young. And she said, Daddy, you're all over the news. And I'm like, really? For what? Well, they said you burnt down a club. I go, when did the club burn down? It's burning right now. Oh, that's funny. I'm over here at Mamaw's. They did not know that. Nobody had any knowledge of that. So they think I'm in Houston, I'm sure.
Wait, but why would they associate you with burning the club down?
Keep in mind, the only way to not pay me.
You got to get the felony.
A felony. This happened to be a second-degree felony. Yeah.
So they charged you with that?
Hell yeah, they charged me with it. Indicted me. Dude, it was front page. It was news.
This is the most random shit. How did they get away with pinning that on you?
They didn't, but they thought they had everything done. That I was in Houston, and so this was going to be... They had no idea it was 4.5 hours north of here. So we already knew it was bullshit. So my dad was an attorney, but we get his friend Dick DeGuerin, who...
I know about Dick DeGuerin, yeah.
He represented me. And I had already been indicted. They got me behind the sheriff's station, so no media saw or anything like that, but I'd already been all over the media. And get in and out, do the fingerprints, picture, all that. And they were like, man, Jimmy, we know you didn't do this shit. You know, this is some bullshit. I said, well, I know I didn't because I wasn't even in town. So it's kind of funny, but it's kind of scary because you're indicted. It's a felony. So John Lynch was not involved. The management at the station was involved, and the club owner and his son, who spent time in prison, by the way. So literally, we go through all the thing, and Dick was saying, I'm going to try to get you a lie detector test, but I can just tell you, you're indicted. I just don't see it happening because you're already indicted. I'm like, how the fuck did they indict me? What could they have? Well, I don't know, but they indicted you. So they have to have something. So, and he knew where we were. My dad told him, my dad doesn't lie, that. So my dad calls the fire chief, and they get me in there for a lie detector test, which I passed twice. And then that's when they told us what they had, because they knew I didn't do it. They said the only thing they had an issue with was one question: do you know who did it? Well, yeah, the club owner. Hello. That's what I thought anyway, and that's mostly who does it when something like that happens, if it's arson. They said that a security guard at the hotel across the street saw me walk out of the building, and then it goes up in flames. I run out of the building, it goes up in flames. I'm on a bicycle. They changed it so many times until they finally got it to my black Grand Jeep Cherokee. They didn't school this guy, but he never swore to anything. They fucking indicted me without a sworn affidavit. So they already knew they had something. So they called him back in and said, hey, we need you to take a lie detector test. And that's when he said he was paid to lie.
Oh, wow.
So they wired him, and they got the club owner. They got everything. They know exactly how it went down now with this one guy. And you could hear Julius Jones on there. Man, we got him. We're this close. We're this close. We got him. And they're giving us free advertising for, life and blah, 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 and all this. This is our thing. We're going to pay you. You're going to get paid every fucking week, da-da-da-da, all this. You got to go. Now, he didn't know that he was wired. And Julius, nobody ever knew until it was time. So they already had that. They already had sealed indictments. I went before a magistrate. I was dismissed with prejudice. Or without prejudice, whatever it is, where they can't believe it was done to me. And of course, the retractions in the paper, buried. Retractions on the news, buried. But boy, your front page and your fucking lead story when the shit's, all this. So I ended up getting a lot of money. I cannot disclose what I got from the city. I can't disclose what I got from the radio. But it was more than my contract. I can't disclose what I got from the newspapers. One's not even in business anymore.
Post.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But, it was a good vindication. And I remember going to movies. People wanted to hand me money for defense fund and stuff. It was crazy how popular I was. You just don't.
This is some wild shit. So what year is this?
This is 92.
Okay, but wait, because you told me before that you broke Ghetto Boys, right?
Ghetto Boys was 80.
It's like 89, right? Yeah.
89. That was Kiss 98.5. Kiss 98.5, I was there 88, 89, and 90. And partial 91. And then the box was April 91. Of course, I was there before that, getting everything ready with Jerry. And I had them hire Scorpio, who was in PGC and WPGC in DC. He was an assistant PD there. And then he hired Greg Head as music director. I never wanted to be anything like that. I just wanted control of my show, which I was. And that was my deal, is that I picked my music, period. And I never took a penny to play a record. Never took one fucking dime. I'm so proud of that. I used to tell him, you give me $1 million unmarked bills, I'll play that motherfucker till I'm fired.
Do you remember when you first met Jay Prince?
I remember he had that metal cassette tape. It was so badass. That's when it first came. And that was the shit. That's like what a Blu-ray DVD is to like a regular, DVD or VHS thing. And it was, I think he was in a Mercedes-Benz, real nice, badass sedan, beautiful. I love that man. He was so gracious to me and wonderful, and all in a positive way, never anything negative or anything. And my first meeting with him was Scarface, and then was Ghetto Boys. Now he'll tell you that I wanted a different record, but the way I remember it, we agreed on the record. Of course, he has the ultimate say on anything, but just that song with what was that song? Call Me the Gangsta Love.
Oh yeah, Gangsta Love. Willie D. Yeah,
yes. Yeah. And I was playing the shit out of all their songs because they had radio playable ones. And that's the one thing that I said you got to have. You have to, when you're doing X-rated, already have the words there for the, because you can do it while you're doing that. If you're saying, you can say this. If you're saying this, you can say this. And it all still rhymes. So he would get, and God, I wish I still had these, but I had radio playables of all their music, every Rap-A-Lot record that was ever put out. And it was hilarious, some of the stuff that like Willie would come up with crazy shit to say on that, all this thing. But I said, read these Nikes. I could go on and on and on. The Gangsta of Love.
Did you know that Mind Playing Tricks was going to be what it was when you heard it?
I did. I knew here it would be huge. When my friends who was in New York at Z100, and I about shit in my pants, we got a call because we were a Churban. We were considered a CHR, the box, believe it or not. And they said, we want to play this record. So play it. I think for Rap-A-Lot, that gave so much cover to all these other stations across the nation to play this record. And it was such a kick-ass record. I mean, just everything. 4 verses, just the hook.
The beat, all that
everything,
shit.
everything. I mean, and he knew he had a hit. Come on. He knew that was a hit. That right there was, I think, probably one of the greatest records ever put out.
Most definitely, yeah.
It got so much crossover play. It just, and the X-rated version, pretty deep. I mean, that's even the radio playable was pretty deep. Pretty. So for Lily White stations to play that in New York, Z100, which is the #1 station still in this country, New York City, Kiss in LA. I mean, that's big stuff.
So what happens after the whole incident with the 102 in the club and all that? Like,
so I had said when I was indicted, I went back to the box and said, "Look, I'll work for free." And they said, "Dude, Jimmy, you're too hot. We're not going to put you on. You got to clear all this shit up." And I kept telling them, I said, I didn't fucking do this. I did not do it. I wasn't even in town. So eventually, I'd never forget. I told them, I said, okay. And this was probably about 2-3 months after. And I said, I'm going to start on my birthday if I come back. It's going to be on my birthday and it's going to be on my terms. That's what I told them. I said, fine, you get out of this. We want you.
How long did that whole fiasco last?
I would say a good 6 to 8 months.
God,
because
damn.
You got to keep in mind, you're indicted. When you get indicted,
Yeah, you got to go through all
nobody wants to give you any recourse or anything as far as to lie detector test, to fill, a grand jury doesn't hear from you. That's what I really don't like about grand juries. I mean, there should be somebody opposing something, even if it's not anybody associated with you, giving a difference of opinion or something that could be, because it's really just a preponderance of the evidence. It's not beyond a reasonable doubt in a grand jury. So you probably still would be indicted too, but maybe not. But yeah, I'd never forget the grand jury reached out to me after all of that, and they felt betrayed by the district attorney because that person did not swear to an affidavit, and they did not know that. And I think that was something that I really, really hate to even say that, and I wouldn't say the city itself, but some people inside, fire department, police department may have been in, because club owners pay officers extra jobs and all of that. So I'm sure there was some there, and then probably got away with it, and that's cool. And I don't hate anybody. I'm not vengeful. I forgive everybody for doing what they did. I've had a great life. I help children that are in situations that aren't their faults. That's what I was put on this earth to do, and still have an internet station with over 1.5 million listeners, doing what I love to do. And, just sitting out here my 25th year at this Walmart doing this. So, Houston is my hometown, born and raised, and will always be my hometown. But, I do these all over. And, but let's go back to radio and James Smith and Rap-A-Lot, because Rap-A-Lot, I thought, was so far ahead of their time, and got screwed so many times too by big record companies, like many artists do. Prince told us, but he had maintained, he has done what he, I think a very upstanding, very nice guy. We all know what he did. He knows what he did, before, but he is legit and gracious, and his community that he serves religiously, takes care of that community. Fifth Ward, he is a prince, if not a king, there. And what he does, I applaud him all the time for what he does. And he gives me props, and that means a lot too. And James, if you're listening, I love you, man. I do. I miss you. I wish you'd come out here and say hi. But he's amazing. And does he really have a private island?
Yeah. That's a real thing.
Well, we need to go out there and do this over there. That's where
That would
we
be
should
crazy.
be. That's where we should be doing this.
That would be crazy.
We should have a big Rap-A-Lot reunion on that island. How cool would that be?
That would
Donnie,
be-
you need to get that hooked up.
Man, tell me about UGK. What do you remember first about early UGK, Pimp C and Bun B?
UGK, that is crazy. So Tell Me Something Good was the first record, and that was Kiss 98.5 by the way. That was in the late 80s. I heard that record, and of course, you know, this is when rap was really sampling all these records, because, you know, rap originally had their own drum beat and all this stuff, and then they started sampling, and oh God, it just was like crazy, because older people was like, shit, I know that music. Oh damn, this is new, this is bad, you know. To this day, they're still doing that, and those are the big records. And that song, I knew. I still play it on my old school hip hop of the hour, all of that stuff. But Chad and Bernard, Mama, you know, they brought me that vinyl. And I was at, I think, Steve Fournier. We were at the Underground, if I remember correctly. And we were live on the station. And I said, Steve, or Captain Jack, one of them, but they were both at that club. I said, we need to play this. I want to hear this shit. And we're live on the radio, too. So it goes over the radio, and it's clean. That got them a signing with Jive Records, actually. What we did, because we were monitored. And when I say monitored back then, you reported what you played. You didn't even say I think you said the number of times and all that. You know, you reported in that as printout, you know. Now they know what you play and how many times you play it. But, yeah, so they were always kind to me. They would always give me such a reasonable fee when they played at one of my clubs and everything. And Mama was so gracious and appreciative, and I helped them with Jive and helped her with, you know, Chad was not the easiest person to deal with. He was more of the hothead.
Do you have any personal stories where you're like, man, I remember he came in and it was this type of thing going on? Because everybody has these Pimp C stories that are just amazing.
And Chad, look, we knew each other and we were friends. Bernard as well. Bernard was the cooler head. Chad, you know, Chad was, I don't know if, I wouldn't say he was younger, because I really don't know the age.
He was young. I think he was younger.
But I do believe he was.
Yeah.
I mean, Bernard is a professor.
Yeah.
So that should tell you right there between the two. But Chad was such a cool dude. I mean, all these South Park Mexicans, same people. All these people were so cool, so honest, so real. And, but Chad was Chad. And, I mean, what you heard was Chad. And that was him. And, but just the way he carried himself, just his twang, his lyrics, you know, his delivery, his style. I mean, you knew Pimp C when you heard UGK, and you knew Bun B
most definitely
when you heard
most
UGK,
definitely.
And they literally balanced each other out, and there was such a contrast, yet it was such a good pairing that did so much so quickly. And it was just one right after the other that he was putting out. And I was just like, yes. It's like Paul Wall, man. He was putting shit out. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
You know, the stuff you can just move to and everything. UGK was, for the most part, more kind of mediocre tempo,
mid-tempo, yeah.
Mid-tempo,
yeah.
And everything. And I think then I was trying to think. We did Club Oasis was my club. Me and Show owned that club together.
Wait, you own Club Oasis?
Yeah, me and Show.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that was our club. We had Planet Groove, Bone Shakers, and the north side on Acres Homes.
You owned all these spots.
Yeah, Arctic Inferno on Gulf Freeway, or on North Freeway. We had, we had a lot of clubs, yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Yeah, man.
Blowing my mind with all this shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
You mentioned earlier.
And I'm going in too many different directions.
Nah, this is cool.
We don't have a lot of time. But
this is cool. How much time we got? Till 5 or what? You good?
I'm here till 8. but-
Okay. All right. Cool. Um, we talking about groups that have that contrast. You mentioned the Convicts, man. Like Big Mike and 3-2. They both were another group like that, where you had Big Mike with this. You know, both of them had really dope voices, but two different types of voices, two different types of things going on with them, man. Talk a little bit about the Convicts.
Mm-hmm. The Convicts, yes. Yeah. No, dude, that Big Mike and Lord 3-2. Yeah. God, just this is for the Convicts.
Yeah.
I mean, all that stuff. I miss that stuff. I wish that I had my album collection. My platinum records, gold records, everything were stolen out of storage. And that pains me to this day, all of that stuff that I lost. Triple platinum, Naughty by Nature, you know, UGK. I can go on and on. Tone Loc, Young MC. God, I think Big Mike. God, Ghetto Boys, all that shit gone. My vinyl, I had an unopened red vinyl of Freaks of the Industry, Digital Underground.
Get the fuck out.
Probably worth $10,000-$20,000, I would imagine now.
Stolen in stores.
Yeah. Inside job, by the way.
Damn.
Yep.
Somebody you knew.
No, I wouldn't say that, but somebody there, because the security cameras
just disappeared.
Well, they weren't working. Sorry, and none of the locks were off. It was where they could have a ladder, and then put stuff over and stuff like that. It was all internal, kind of like a hotel. You know, you're all inside there and stuff. And but yeah, all of that. God, I wish I could find that stuff. I would pay for all that shit to get back.
Damn.
Yeah.
So okay, let's go back to the box. You're getting back to the box and everything. How did you end up, working that out? Because you said you went back on your own terms.
I went back around. It was a little before my birthday, and we ended up beating Magic really, really quick. And at that time that I was back, Clear Channel owned it. Mm-hmm. And
is Hatter already over there at that time?
No, Hatter took my place at Magic.
Gotcha.
And and I love Hatter. Did then, do now. Great guy, awesome. But he was the wiggity whack hairdresser.
What do you mean? That was his tag?
Mad Hatter, that was his thing in my pranks and stuff that I did.
I got you.
Like Hurricane Dave was Tropical Depression Dave.
Right.
Greg Street, who was on against me too and lost to me. So Hurricane Dave couldn't beat me on Kiss. Greg Street couldn't beat me on The Box when he was on Magic. And I love him. He's in Atlanta. And Mad Hatter couldn't beat me when he was on Magic and I was back on The Box. So, and I beat The Box when I was on Magic. So, yeah. But I get back. We beat Magic. And Clear Channel ends up buying Magic 50 cents on the dollar. And I think they paid a little under $40 million for it. And the last price was $80 million on that station.
Damn.
We're going to run out of tape here, SD cards. We already ran out of one?
You got to rerun them every 20, 30 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, cool. So, yeah, okay, sorry. But, yes, so we ended up buying them, and they had both stations now. And we were in Hillcroft, and Richmond was the Box station right next to 6400, that club right there. And we were on the 6th floor, and then everything moved over to Greenway Plaza, which is where it is now. But I was probably there for because maybe a year. And then that's when enough was enough. And they knew it, and we came to terms, and I was done.
You were done with The Box again?
Yes.
What was it? Were you burning out, or what was it? Or were you getting so much money with the club stuff and the other endeavors where it was I don't necessarily need the radio
correct. Anymore. I was more don't get me wrong, I got paid good at the radio. I got great talent fee, but I had a young kid. I really wanted to spend time, and then I had the clubs that we were doing. And and it was funny because when all that arson shit, that's when Arctic became the Inferno on 59 North Freeway. And it was just a little mind thing because I knew I didn't do it and I had nothing to do with it. But I was burnt. I wouldn't say burnt out. I could still do it, but it was just too much. I was too young, had such a huge head.
You had the big head.
Oh, fuck. Come on.
What are you
making $500 an hour to be at a club, and you're doing 2 hours at one club on the north side, then 2 hours on the south side, and then the next day you're on the west side and the east side, and you're pulling in literally, what is that, $8,000 in a weekend, cash
on the side,
but cash.
Yeah,
they're paying cash.
Yeah.
And so I would go buy shit at Foley's, at Macy's. I had Henry Don bedroom set, which I still have, badass. That was $20,000 at the time, or 13, something crazy. I'm like, why am I buying this shit? Why this stupid? Made no damn sense. I kicked my younger self in the ass for doing all that crazy shit. I should have invested.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is there anything other than the money, is there anything you regret versus like the way you handle the job?
I think
and certain relationships and shit like that?
I always regret. I was always a team player, without question. I do regret treating people, I wouldn't say horribly, but just not
lesser than, more so.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think that there's so much of that still to this day. And, I really regret that because I respected everybody I worked with. Everybody. To this day. I mean, the janitor that came in and cleaned the restrooms and vacuumed the thing, to our producers, to our owners, to everybody. I respected everybody. I didn't agree with everybody, but I respected everybody. And sometimes we got into heated exchanges and, I threatened to quit and then they would give in. Big mistake on their part, but it did help them too because they made a lot of fucking money with me. Millions and millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars. They told me.
So how long did you stay away from radio before you said, all right, man, I want to get back to it?
I was out about 2 years, I think, and then I went to Super Tejano 108, which was Eldorado Communications in the Galleria. They were supposed to switch Kakukuka to Wild 106. They never did, so I gave my 2 weeks notice. And I went to Cox Communications, which was in the Galleria too, to Hot 97.1. And they hired me. And then they tried to hire me at Party 104.9, and then Hot, who, again, was making a lot of money off of me, started paying me a lot of money.
Party 104, this is like in the 2000s, I remember that station.
Huh?
Party 104.9, that was like in the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been all over Houston radio.
That sounds like it. So what was the decision to say, man, you know what, I'm just go ahead and do my own thing, man? Like,
well, I moved out of Houston. I went to chased a girl to Tyler, Texas. Isn't that how it always happens? And started working for, it was KLJT and Tyler. They had about a cluster of 4 stations, and they were kind of like KISS 98.5 was, but they had 2 signals. And KISS 98.5 also got another signal too, which was, it was KISS Again, 103.3 or something here locally, but they had 95.3 and 102.3 in Tyler. And again, we ended up kicking ass. But this time, I started selling advertising too. I mean, I made more money selling advertising. That's what I said. If I would have known what I know now back then,
you could have got it all kind of ways. Yeah,
I would have insisted. Dude, I didn't think I could sell, but I remember Tan Advantage. I sold. It's all about communication.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah. Man, so this is fucking wild.
Isn't it crazy?
Did you ever cross up with Mean Green in radio at the time?
Yeah, Mean Green worked at the box. Love Mean Green. I'm praying for him so much.
Yeah. Mean Green's a great man. He's told me some really, really amazing stories. Like,
Green
Mean
has
Green
some
has some
stories.
stories, man. Yeah.
Green has some stories.
Yeah.
So how is he doing?
I think he's doing all right. Every time I talk to him, he's just like, man, he's doing all right. As best as he can be, considering.
I pray for him daily, man. I wish that he could come out here too. I'd love to see him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing we've been talking. Like, we talk a lot on the phone, but it's like, I know at some point I have to try to go wherever he is.
Yeah.
Try to get it recorded.
I remember LT, who was one of my producers. He passed away of cancer. God bless him. And I remember bringing my young daughter, who is 9 now, over there to meet with him, and just it was so sad to see him in that state. And he knew he wasn't going to make it. And same thing with Wicked Cricket. Went to, in fact, Sheila and Sylvester. I brought them to see Wicked Cricket in the hospital. And and he knew he wasn't going to make it. And it's just hard seeing all these people fall and move on, hopefully, to a better place. But I'm glad Big Mike's still around.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Because
Big Mike can still
tell you any
rap.
stories?
Yeah.
When he was on that shit and
he's
running out naked and everything?
He's told me some stories.
He has been through it, man.
Yeah.
But he is such a good dude too, man.
Yeah.
Such a good dude. And Lord 3-2, man, miss him,
It's my cousin.
What?
Yeah, it was my cousin. I'm working on a documentary on him right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then you know everything.
Yeah.
You know where the skeletons are buried, and
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
all I say in this setting. Okay. That's all I got on camera. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I wonder what they'll say about me when I go. It's always.
What do you think? What do you think people?
I don't know. They may not even know that I have gone.
Have you chosen to kind of stay kind of off the radar?
I don't think I'm off the radar because shit, I'm right here.
No, you're still doing your thing for sure.
Yeah. I mean, my social media has gone out of control. I think that, again, my calling, even back in the day when this started, when they stole all those toys from Toys for Tots at Warehouse, and nobody was really, in my mind, doing anything about it. And that's when I took the initiative to do it. And that was 1999. And we raised a shitload of toys quick and saved Christmas for tens of thousands of kids. And that felt good because it's not their fault. Why should they
shouldn't have to suffer? Right.
I mean, it's not their fault. And they need food, they need school supplies, and they need toys. And that's my motto. No child should ever go to bed hungry, and every child should have what they need day one of school, not 2, not 3, but day one of school before they get there. And every child should smile on Christmas morning or whatever holiday they choose to celebrate. Period.
25 years, man. That's a long time to be doing this thing.
How old are you?
39.
So you were 14.
Yeah. You said 99. Yeah, I was going to Lamar at that time. Yeah.
Lamar.
Yeah.
God, when I dated Sharon Shipley, when she went to Lamar, I went to St. Thomas.
Yeah.
She was hot. And her parents own Shipley Donuts.
Oh, shit.
I wonder if she's probably married with 20 kids. Huh? God, there's so much oh, God. So much stuff.
We still got a few minutes.
Dude, it would take a week to get
everything. We're going to have to do part 2 and 3.
We will. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's correct. Okay, let's do this. Your top 5 Houston rap artists.
That's not fair because I'm going to always piss somebody off. Yeah. So I wouldn't say in any particular order.
Fair enough.
And I'm just going to go like early to now. But I would say anybody in the Rap-A-Lot clique, they just were so diverse. I mean, the PETA man, come on, man. That guy could rap so fast and make your head spin. 3-2. I don't know if you know this person, but what was her name? Nasty Rump.
Choice.
Yes.
I just spoke to Choice last week.
Get the fuck
Yeah,
out
she's
of
supposed
here.
to be. I wish you could make the event, man. But she's supposed to be at the event that man brought her doing. Yeah.
God. You need to call her and tell her to get her ass out here. I'm here till Monday.
See.
She was shitting her pants.
I'll see if I can get on the phone. Yeah.
She will shit in her pants. I played her shit
on the radio?
Dude, she had everybody had a radio playable shit. I told James that you got to have that, whether radio plays it or not, because you never know. I wish I know that. Well, here's something you may not know. Bernard Bunby wrote my rap that I dissed Greg Street with Ice Cube's No Vaseline.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yep. He wrote it for me. Nobody knew that. That's something nobody knew.
So y'all, the radio beefs was really going like that back then.
Come on, man. It was insane. That was so much.
Man.
Oh, rappers.
Rappers. We're talking about top 5 rappers.
So
all the rapper like guys.
I think, yes.
Yeah.
Big Chief, Tony, all those people, Dewey. I miss all those guys.
Dewey Spook
man.
and all those guys.
Yeah. They were awesome. They were amazing. They were gracious. I mean, here's a white guy, coming into that world and just being loved and, curated and held and protected. Because I'm quite sure there's a lot of people that probably wanted to do me some harm with all the shit I was saying. You had tribes, like people loved Magic, loved the Box. And, I remember going into Gucci's, golly, I don't know if I should say this. Well, it doesn't matter. He's passed away. But Ray Barnett paid me in cash, and then I had police security. So go back, you went down a hallway, you go in, and there's the crap table. And I think they even had roulette and all kind of.
I've heard about this stuff going on in the back of it. Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah,
I was wearing their ass out on those dice. Woo! And my detail kept elbowing me and go, this is their fucking rent money and shit. You taking their shit, and they really, we need to get the fuck out of here right now. Let's go. I go, guys. He goes, no, you one more time. 11.
Ooh.
Woo! Thank y'all. Gotta go. Bye. Got out of there. I only did that one time because they started telling me what they were wanting to do and everything because you taking their money. I didn't know. I'm a young kid. I'm like, I'm having a blast. Fun. And if I'd have lost my money, I'd have lost my money. But man, I was not losing.
That's wild. That is fucking wild.
But Houston rapper, Scarface, you got to put up there. I think without any question, just the flow, the depth of his lyrics, everything. ESG, I think amazing. God, I could go. DMD, loved his flow. God, there were just so many back in the day. It was just the talent we have to this day in this city. It's just, look at who's come out of here. Beyonce, shit, she is the icon. You got, and I remember when Destiny's Child performed for my birthday party. I thought that was the coolest thing. We had so many tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people on Galveston Island with Wycliffe Jean and Queen Latifah, Naughty by Nature. Oh, I didn't tell you this. In I think it was 88, we had Queen Latifah. Special Treat was a group local. We had, and they were on stage when it happened, but we had Naughty by Nature and a whole bunch. It was at the Miller Outdoor Theater. And we were on stage, and people were throwing like pennies and stuff on the stage, which I guess they do. I don't know. I'm like, man, throw dollar bills, 20s, 30, throw real money. So you know how they have the seats in the front and then the hill. So we're on stage, and we had a lot of security. And Special Treat was doing their song, and they had a huge local hit. It was massive. And I hate to say that it was because of me, but I played the record, and it just took off. But all of a sudden, those big 40-ounce bottles, you start flying.
Get the fuck out of here.
Like missiles, and just popping people on the back of the head. And I'm like, grab a mic. I said, stop that shit right now. Stop it. We were all saying it. All of a sudden, right at the top of the hill, someone shoots a gun into the air. And you want to talk about people moving, like this? And you see him right there. He wasn't trying to kill somebody. He was just, I guess, trying to stop people from throwing bottles or something. Maybe had good intentions, but it was not good. So our security grabs us, everybody. These massive these metal doors are about this thick. And you hear them like closing. And they grab us, they throw us into the dressing rooms in the back. Dude, I'm hearing people get trampled. I say, you got to let these people in. People are going to die. We got to let you're not getting out of this mother. You staying right here. And there was like 3 of us from the station. I go, Jimmy, just chill out. I said, fuck that. People are going to die. And I'm always worried about people getting hurt. So that was the first time in that time, and there was only one other time, and it was in the 60s, early 60s, where a full citywide assist had been called to that location. We're talking helicopters, every available police officer to that location. Yes, that's probably Google. You could probably Google that maybe, but that made national news. That made every.
You have these. I mean, the arson
so
shit with the
much-
club is wild enough. You know what I mean? Let alone you talking about you started the box. 102 jams. Oh, this is incredible. Do you have any favorite moments? Do you say like, man, I really hang my hat on these particular moments in Houston? Like these are the things I'm the most proud of.
I think helping those that need help. Honestly, I mean, look, I think my pranks are funny. I enjoyed doing those. I had a lot of help with those. Dave Summers did a lot of the voices. Robert Scorpio even did Mad Hatter's voice, the Wickety Whack hairdresser. Doing the raps and stuff. All that is great. That I love it. I love being in the clubs, talking on the mic. Do the ladies run this mother? Do the fellas run? And Captain Jack said, why don't you say the N-word? I said, look, man.
What the fuck?
Come on, man. I said, I've said it plenty of times, but around my friends, and my black friends, because they called me one. I said, yeah, I'm black from the waist down, Latino from the neck up. But literally, I honestly think helping people, and I remember Scorpio suspended me. And so I said, well, shit, if I'm going to be suspended, let me be suspended. And I was up on I think it was a billboard for 2 weeks raising money for the Red Cross for the floods. And we raised, I think, 100, and we wanted to raise $97,000. I still have the check up so I'm very proud of that. And it was, says $97,900, but it was like $125,000 for it. And that was kind of not my first taste in helping, but I think bringing Selena on stage at El Dorado Ranch a couple of times was really, really big.
Man, okay, talk about that, man.
Yeah, that was...
how early did you end up meeting Selena? Was it like...
Well, I used to be... It's funny because literally, I say after Dallas, I came straight here. That wasn't the case. I went to Corpus Christi, Z90, or at Power 102, KJKC, John Cohen's station. And... of course, she's from there, and she used to spoke English really, really well. She was Spanglish, and she would come up to the station every once in a while. She was young then, and then when I went to Houston, my thing, and I think what made me number one with everybody is I would go to every club. I'd go to the gay clubs. I'd go to the country clubs. I'd go to the Hispanic clubs. I'd go to the Tejano clubs, all that. And that's what it meant. Tejano was like what rap, Tejano was the word rap. Hip hop is the word norteño in that music. But anyway, Mario Alzadura owned, and Jay Larkin owned El Dorado Ranch, Galleria, and El Dorado Ranch going south on 45. God, I can even tell you, et cetera, the teen clubs that we used to DJ at. I mean, they pay us money too. They had 2 locations. One literally was Oasis back in the day. It was a teen club, and then one down south. I'm just bouncing all over the place because I'm just remembering all this stuff. But literally brought her on stage on the one in the south and at Galleria. And that was real special. I wish we had these things back in the day.
Because you could just grab,
the pictures, I mean, like Sheila, selfie and all that stuff. It's just like crazy.
Did you finish naming your top 5 rappers?
I said more than top 5. I said a lot.
I mean, the Rap A Lot roster enough is that's
a shitload. But I mean, I could go. Well, no, I said DMD. I said
ESG.
The Flow. I said ESG.
Yeah.
You got Trey the Truth. You got Zero. I mean, I can go on and on and on. In fact, I am apologizing now because I know I've left people out. But my brain's just not what it was, and it's not that I've ever done a drug because I haven't. It's just when you get old, you get old. And when you're doing all this stuff, and so much has happened today, as you were witnessing. Yeah, so.
Would you ever come back to Houston?
They've tried to get me back to Houston. I just think the way radio is now and what people, I could never, ever, ever, I could probably be number one, but what does number one look like? It's not what it was when you didn't have all the streaming services and you didn't have all of the technology and everything. So what, 50 people, 1,000, 20,000? It's not going to be 1 million, 2 million, so I love what I do now. I love how I do it now, and I will keep doing it. It'll probably continue after I'm gone until the bill stops getting paid.
Talk a little bit about JJL Radio before we get out, because you were saying you had the hip hop segments and like all these things.
Yes. So what I do is I play all the hits. I mean, all the hits. So I play mostly top 40. I play, and of course, top 40 today is hip hop and everything. I play new country, and I play old school hip hop jam every hour. And I play 2 prank calls every hour. And my friend Rico out of Phoenix does the Carmen calls. I do my calls where I'm coming in 15 minutes. You better have my money. I'm going to whoop your ass. But you can get it at jjlradio.com, and you can download the app on your smartphones, whatever you got, JJL Radio HD, and it has the world in the background of it with JJL Radio.
Man, you talked about, helping people, but what is it that keeps you still, interested and still, I guess, excited about radio at this point? You know what I mean? After all these years, man.
The music. I think the music and, TikTok has broke a lot of records. All of these things that people do now with the stuff. I just enjoy music. I always have. I don't care what is being played. If it's live, it's going to be a great show. It doesn't matter what it is, unless they're shitting all over everything and just farting around or something. But if they're really playing music, no matter what it is, it's entertaining. I mean, I think every genre of music is an entertaining beat, no matter what it is. I mean, cumbia, bachata, salsa, merengue, reggaeton, hip hop, country, everything.
But man, yeah, we definitely have to do like more parts. Like I said,
Yes.
I got to figure out what happened with this audio. But we definitely, I mean, even with all that,
Yeah,
man,
we may have missed something.
Yeah.
Well, you probably have enough for 2 or 3 right here, right now. We could keep going, but I'm going to lose my voice.
Yeah.
And I still got to be here 2 more days.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, we're going to have to connect and do a couple more parts of this, man.
Donnie, my bruh.
Fucking
great to see you,
legendary.
man.
The legendary.
No, man.
Jammin Jimmy
Well,
Olson,
I
man.
appreciate you getting this out to everybody because you've had some pretty remarkable people on your podcast, dude.
I don't know, man. it's a blessing. You know
It
what I mean?
is.
It's a blessing,
it
man.
should be, though.
And it's an honor. Like I said, when I meet people like yourself, and I mean so many of you guys, man. Like I grew up a radio kid. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's just certain names.
See, people just don't grow up like that anymore. Yeah. It's different when you got these.
It's way too many options. It's way too many. There's nothing like having to actually be in the car, or if you're a kid, you have to be at home and you're sitting at home and you're just enjoying it.
And you're recording it on that cassette. And you're recording
on the. I still have cassettes recorded from the radio as a kid.
Wow. You need to digitize those.
I have some of them, yeah. Like the day that DJ
you got any with me, you need to send them to me.
I have to see. I have to look back and see.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of my cassette. I need to get a lot of that digitized too.
I would love to hear that if you did it. If you need help digitizing, I can help you with that as well.
Cool.
Man, so.
Well, I have this thing that.
But I'm sure you're Jammin Jimmy Olson, man. I'm sure you have all your equipment already.
I got an Amazon, but a cassette player that you plug into here, and that digitizes it. But yes, so I have it. I just have not done it.
Just like, well, man, it's been on. Like I said, we got to do part 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and all that, man. So
I'll be back in the spring. Actually, I'm back. I'm co-hosting on CW39 the MLK parade again.
Oh no shit. Well, yeah, let's connect when you come back for that then.
Yep.
That's next month. It's crazy. This is the end of the year, man.
I know, right?
Like I was gonna say, well, yeah, in a couple months, but no, January is next month.
Freaking year, man.
We're in 2024 already, dog. This is crazy.
And everybody, get your ass out and vote.
Most definitely.
And not for a clown. You vote. And let me tell you, if you don't vote, if you're not riding with Biden, we may not have a country. And I'm not bullshitting. I am so scared of Trump. I'm not going to say I didn't make money with him, but what he did on January 6th, and, you may not be motivated to go out and vote, but please vote anyway. Take whatever time it takes to vote. Early vote. There's no excuse. There's plenty of time to vote. Do what you got to do to vote, but vote because it is critical. And I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but I really will tell you, if you vote for anybody else but a Republican or a Democrat, the Republican is going to be the president. And if that's a person, we're in deep shit. So please, everybody, vote, vote, vote.
There it is. I'm Donnie Houston, the legendary Jammin Jimmy Olson.
The boy in the box.
Hey, man, the man responsible for the box. Like I said,
you never knew that?
I had no idea.
Really? Mike didn't tell you that?
No.
Oh, he must have not have, I don't know how I can forget that.
Well, hey, man, it's the legendary Jammin Jimmy Olson. I'm Donnie Houston. Whip out of here.
Donnie Houston.
Subscribe to the Donnie Houston podcast, man.